the Sphinx machine. The first hidden discovery takes us beneath one of the world's most famous monuments. In 1993, Japanese archaeologist Dr. Sakuji Yoshimura was conducting routine ground-penetrating radar surveys around the Great Sphinx of Giza. What his equipment detected beneath the monument's pores should have made headlines. Instead, it marked the beginning of one of archaeology's most carefully guarded secrets. Yoshimura's radar revealed a massive metallic structure buried directly underneath the Sphinx. The object measured approximately 30 meters in length and displayed clear signs of sophisticated engineering. The metal composition appeared to be an unknown alloy that predated human metallurgy capabilities by thousands of years. The structure contained internal chambers, complex geometric patterns, and what looked like mechanical components arranged in highly advanced configurations. Within 48 hours of transmitting his initial findings to colleagues in Japan, Yoshimura faced immediate intervention. Egyptian authorities revoked his research permits, confiscated all his equipment, and escorted him out of the country with explicit warnings never to discuss his discoveries publicly. His decades of archaeological work in Egypt ended overnight. But the data had already been transmitted. Independent analysis by metallurgists at Tokyo University confirmed that the buried object contained isotopes that don't occur naturally on Earth. The precision manufacturing techniques required to create such a structure exceeded current industrial capabilities. Even more extraordinary, electromagnetic readings detected active energy signatures emanating from the device, indicating it remained functional after millennia underground. The energy patterns followed mathematical sequences that matched no known natural phenomena, but corresponded perfectly to theoretical equations in advanced quantum physics. When Yoshimura attempted to publish his findings, academic journals refused his papers. His research funding was mysteriously withdrawn, and colleagues' work suddenly supported his, who had distanced themselves after receiving pressure from undisclosed sources. Leaked documents later revealed that intelligence Yoshimura's work. Agencies had been monitoring internal communications, described the discovery as posing significant risks to established historical narratives, and recommended indefinite classification of all related materials. The Egyptian government modified the area around the Sphinx with new concrete installations that appeared designed to prevent further investigation of the underground anomaly. Recent geological surveys using advanced penetrating radar technology have confirmed that the metallic object remains in place, continuing to emit energy signatures that suggest active technological systems. Whatever lies beneath the Sphinx appears to be waiting, but for what purpose remains unknown. The impossible human. Our second suppressed discovery challenges the very foundation of human evolutionary theory. In 1880, geologist Dr. Carlos Ameghino was working in Argentine rock formations when he made a discovery that should have revolutionized our understanding of human origins. Instead, it was buried by academic institutions that couldn't allow evidence to contradict their carefully constructed timelines. Ameghino discovered human fossils in rock layers that were 25 million years old. These weren't primitive ancestors or evolutionary precursors. The skeletal remains were anatomically identical to modern humans, complete and fully formed, embedded in geological strata that had been undisturbed for millions of years. Carbon dating, geological analysis, and multiple independent examinations confirmed the impossible age of these specimens. The implications were staggering. If anatomically modern humans existed 25 million years ago, the entire timeline of human evolution would need complete reconstruction. The discovery suggested that our species had either existed far longer than believed, or had undergone multiple cycles of advancement and extinction that official history refuses to acknowledge. Ameghino's findings were initially published in the Journal of the Royal Anthropological Institute, but the article was retracted within months after pressure from European academic institutions. Officials cited contaminated samples and flawed dating methodology, but no credible evidence supported these dismissals. Independent verification came from British paleontologist Arthur Smith Woodward, who travelled to Argentina and confirmed the discovery, finding additional human fossils in the same geological formation, along with sophisticated tools and artifacts. When Amerino attempted to display the fossils at international scientific conferences, exhibition permits were repeatedly denied. Museums refused to acquire the specimens, and academic institutions declined to fund further research. The fossils eventually disappeared into private collections where they remain inaccessible to scientific study. Leaked correspondence between major universities revealed a coordinated effort to suppress the discovery. Letters discussed maintaining consistency in evolutionary timelines and preventing public confusion about human origins. The academic establishment had decided that evidence contradicting accepted theory was more dangerous than beneficial to human knowledge genetic. Modern analysis of preserved tissue samples has revealed DNA sequences that are 99.7% identical to contemporary human populations. The genetic evidence confirms these were not primitive ancestors, but fully modern humans who somehow existed millions of years before our species supposedly evolved. The crystal skull. The third hidden discovery involves artifacts that demonstrate impossible craftsmanship and contain encrypted information that could revolutionize our understanding of ancient knowledge. Between 1924 and 1927, British explorer Frederick Mitchell Hedges discovered 13 crystal skulls in various Maya and Aztec ruins throughout Central America. These weren't the crude tourist reproductions sold in gift shops today. These skulls were precision crafted from single pieces of quartz crystal using techniques that remain impossible to replicate with modern technology. Each skull displayed FL structures, move-orless internalable jaw pieces, and anatomical details that could only be achieved with laser-like precision. The crystal skulls exhibited anomalous properties when exposed to specific lighting conditions. Under full-spectrum illumination, they projected holographic images containing star maps, mathematical formulas, and symbolic information systems that appeared to be instructional materials for advanced scientific concepts. The precision exceeded anything achievable with diamond-tipped instruments, and the crystal structure showed no microscopic scratching or tool marks. Hewlett-Packard Laboratories conducted extensive analysis of one skull and concluded it was impossible to create with current technology. The crystal appeared to have been shaped through unknown methods that could manipulate molecular structure directly. Even more remarkable, the skulls contained piezoelectric properties that generated electrical fields when subjected to pressure or temperature changes. The electrical output followed complex patterns corresponding to mathematical constants and physical principles that weren't discovered by modern science until centuries after the skulls were supposedly created. When researchers attempted to document the holographic properties, government agents confiscated their equipment, claiming the artifacts posed national security risks. Museums that had acquired skulls received orders to remove them from public display and transfer them to classified storage facilities. The crystal skulls were apparently designed to work together as components of a larger information system that could influence nearby electronic equipment and create acoustic phenomena resembling computer data transmission. These three discoveries represent just the beginning of a pattern that extends across continents and centuries. Advanced technologies buried beneath ancient monuments, human fossils that predate accepted evolutionary timelines, precision-crafted artifacts containing encrypted knowledge systems. Each discovery was systematically suppressed through the same coordinated methods of classification, confiscation, and career destruction. The evidence suggests that human history has been deliberately rewritten to hide uncomfortable truths about our past capabilities and origins. What we've been taught about technological progress, human development, and ancient civilizations appears to be carefully constructed fiction designed to maintain specific power structures and institutional authority. The Baghdad Tesla. The fourth suppressed discovery takes us to ancient Iraq, where evidence of sophisticated electrical technology was deliberately erased from archaeological records. In 1936, German archaeologist Wilhelm König made a discovery that would challenge everything we thought we knew about ancient technological capabilities. Working beneath the ruins of Baghdad, he uncovered not just the famous Baghdad batteries, but something far more extraordinary that has been completely hidden from public awareness. König discovered an extensive electrical installation that extended beneath several square kilometers of the ancient city. This wasn't just a few isolated battery cells. It was a complete power distribution system featuring copper cables, ceramic insulators, and junction boxes arranged in patterns that matched modern electrical grid designs. The installation suggested that electrical power was systematically distributed to homes, workshops, and public buildings throughout Baghdad during the Parthian period. The preservation was remarkable. Copper cables showed oxidation patterns indicating they had conducted electricity for extended periods. These weren't crude experimental devices, but sophisticated infrastructure that incorporated principles of electromagnetic field control that wouldn't be discovered by modern science until the development of advanced electrical engineering in the 20th century. The junction boxes contained switching mechanisms made from unknown metal alloys that showed no signs of corrosion despite being buried for 2 millennia. When König attempted to map the complete electrical system, Iraqi authorities terminated his excavation permits and classified all findings. His photographs and documentation were confiscated, and he was prohibited from publishing any information about the discovery. The dig site was sealed with concrete and declared permanently off-limits to archaeological investigation. Independent confirmation came from British electrical engineer R.A. Ford, who examined König's samples and confirmed they were components of a functional electrical system. Ford's analysis revealed that the ancient installation could have generated and distributed electrical power more efficiently than many contemporary systems, using principles that incorporated advanced understanding of electromagnetic physics that shouldn't have existed in ancient times. The power source for this electrical grid was never identified, but geological surveys detected unusual magnetic anomalies beneath Baghdad that suggested the presence of cellular structures. These anom of large metal alleys corresponded precisely to locations where König had documented the highest concentration of electrical infrastructure, indicating a sophisticated understanding of power generation and distribution that official history claims was impossible for ancient civilizations. The giant graveyard. Our fifth hidden discovery reveals evidence of giants that once inhabited North America, challenging fundamental assumptions about prehistoric populations. Between 1890 and 1920, archaeologists across the American Midwest discovered thousands of human skeletons measuring between 7 and 12 feet in height. These weren't isolated anomalies or pathological cases of gigantism. They represented entire populations buried in elaborate tombs, alongside advanced tools and artifacts that suggested a sophisticated civilization. The giant discoveries were initially reported in hundreds of newspaper articles from reputable sources, including the New York Times and Chicago Tribune. Archaeological teams from major universities documented complete cities built to accommodate people of extraordinary height, with doorways, furniture, and architectural elements sized for inhabitants over 8 feet tall. Medical examination by contemporary physicians confirmed that the remains showed no signs of disease or abnormal growth patterns. They were simply humans who had evolved to extraordinary size. Dr. Ales Hrdlicka, curator of physical anthropology at the Smithsonian Institution, personally oversaw the confiscation of giant skeletons from archaeological sites across the country. His official reports claimed the remains were anatomical anomalies unsuitable for public display. However, private correspondence revealed that he was following institutional directives to prevent evidence of ancient giants from reaching public awareness. Archaeological evidence indicated that the giant civilization possessed advanced metallurgy, sophisticated architecture, and agricultural techniques that exceeded the capabilities of contemporary Native American tribes. Their tools were crafted from metals requiring high-temperature smelting, and their construction projects involved moving massive stone blocks, that would challenge modern engineering capabilities. When independent researchers attempted to study the giant remains, they discovered that the Smithsonian had systematically destroyed most of the skeletons, claiming they were deteriorating and posed health hazards. Leaked internal documents revealed that the destruction was deliberate, designed to eliminate physical evidence that challenged established archaeological narratives about prehistoric populations. Recent excavations continue to uncover giant skeletons, but these discoveries are immediately classified under federal protection acts that prevent scientific study. Tribal councils working with government agencies ensure that all giant remains are quickly reburied without examination, maintaining the systematic suppression of evidence that ancient North America was inhabited by advanced civilizations of extraordinary humans. The suppressed stones. The sixth suppressed discovery involves carved stones containing mathematical and astronomical information, so advanced it could only have been produced by a civilization with scientific knowledge exceeding our current capabilities. In 1961, American archaeologist Charles Berlitz discovered a collection of precision-carved stones in Chile's Atacama Desert that contain formulas describing quantum mechanical principles, relativity equations, and advanced mathematics that wouldn't be developed by human civilization. The for centuries Atacama stones contain over 2,000 pieces individual, each displaying different aspects of an integrated scientific knowledge system. The information includes star charts showing celestial positions that could only be calculated using advanced astronomical mathematics, periodic tables showing elements not yet discovered by modern chemistry, and diagrams of atomic structures that match contemporary nuclear physics models. Independent analysis by physicists confirmed that the mathematical formulas carved into the stones were not only correct, but demonstrated insights into theoretical physics that exceeded current academic understanding. The equations showed solutions to problems that modern science is still attempting to resolve, suggesting access to knowledge sources that we don't understand. Most extraordinary were detailed technical specifications for advanced technologies, including energy generation systems, propulsion mechanisms, and communication devices. The technical drawings incorporated quantum physics concepts in practical applications that modern technology cannot replicate, indicating engineering knowledge that surpasses our current capabilities. When Berlitz attempted to transport samples to the United States for further study, Chilean authorities intercepted his materials and permanently banned him from the country. His research notes were confiscated, and he was required to sign agreements never to discuss his discoveries publicly. International pressure to examine the stones has been consistently blocked by the Chilean, which government, the artifacts claims, require protection from exploitation. Satellite imagery shows that the original discovery site has been modified with military installations that prevent unauthorized access. The area remains off-limits to archaeological research, with security measures that exceed protection levels for most classified military facilities, suggesting that the suppressed knowledge contained in these stones poses threats to established scientific and institutional paradigms. The Forbidden Library. Our seventh hidden discovery reveals an enormous underground library containing thousands of metal books with pages made of gold, silver, and unknown metallic alloys. In 1976, Scottish explorer Stan Hall discovered this extraordinary collection in Ecuador's Taos cave system, containing detailed information about human history, advanced sciences, and technological knowledge that predated known civilizations by millennia. Whoa. The metal books were manufactured using techniques that remain impossible to replicate with modern technology. The metallic pages were somehow made flexible like paper while maintaining metal durability, and the text was inscribed using methods that created perfect letter formations with no tool marks or inconsistencies. Hall documented over 5,000 individual volumes, each containing hundreds of pages in multiple languages, including scripts that don't match any known human writing systems. Translation attempts revealed detailed historical accounts of civilizations that supposedly never existed, technical manuals for advanced technologies, and scientific treatises demonstrating sophisticated understanding of physics, astronomy, and mathematics that exceeded capabilities attributed to ancient peoples. Most remarkable were accurate descriptions of future technological developments and social changes that would unfold exactly as predicted in subsequent decades. When Hall attempted to photograph the metal books for documentation, his equipment consistently malfunctioned in ways that prevented clear images of. The text metallic pages appeared to interfere with photographic processes, creating mysteriously blurred images despite perfect conditions, suggesting properties that transcended normal physical matter. Government intervention came swiftly when Hall attempted to remove samples for laboratory analysis. Military forces sealed the cave system and declared it a restricted zone with access limited to authorized personnel. International negotiations to establish scientific study protocols were blocked, with officials claiming the site required protection from commercial exploitation, while leaked documents revealed concerns about destabilizing established paradigms. These 7 discoveries reveal a consistent pattern of sophisticated suppression that extends far beyond simple academic disagreement or bureaucratic oversight. The coordinated nature of these cover-ups suggests institutional awareness that certain archaeological evidence threatens fundamental assumptions about human development, technological progress, and the nature of civilization itself. The obliterated observatory, the 8th suppressed discovery, takes us to the Gobi Desert, where Soviet archaeologists uncovered mechanical computing devices that calculated planetary positions with precision that wouldn't be achieved by human civilization for over 1,000 years. In 1953, Dr. Yuri Petrov was leading an expedition when his team discovered the remains of an ancient observatory containing bronze instruments that incorporated mathematical principles not developed by recognized civilizations until the Renaissance. The Gobi Observatory included calibrated measuring devices and mechanical calculators designed to track celestial movements, calculate eclipse cycles, and predict planetary positions with accuracy, matching modern astronomical tables. Petrov documented over 200 individual instruments arranged in a complex that suggested systematic astronomical observation capabilities maintained across generations of ancient astronomers. The most remarkable discovery was a mechanical computer using gear ratios to perform complex calculations automatically. This device could determine planetary positions for any date in the past or future with accuracy exceeding contemporary instruments, demonstrating mathematical knowledge far beyond what was attributed to ancient civilizations. The engineering precision surpassed what could be achieved with tools supposedly available to these cultures. Independent analysis by Soviet mechanical engineers confirmed that the bronze instruments incorporated advanced mathematical concepts, including logarithmic functions and trigonometric calculations that wouldn't be developed by recognized scientific traditions until centuries later. When Petrov attempted to publish his findings internationally, Soviet authorities intervened and classified all materials related to the discovery. His research was transferred to classified military installations, and he was reassigned to projects preventing him from continuing archaeological work. The cover-up intensified during Cold War tensions, when intelligence agencies determined that the ancient instruments could provide insights into computational techniques, offering potential technological advantages. The observatory artifacts disappeared into secret research facilities where they remained inaccessible to scientific study. Satellite imagery from the discovery site shows the original location has been altered with excavation equipment and concrete installations obscuring archaeological layers where the instruments were found. The area remains restricted under military security protocols, with recent attempts by international organizations to obtain information consistently unsuccessful. Our 9th hidden discovery reveals a vast underground complex beneath the Great Pyramid, containing advanced machinery and hieroglyphic texts describing sophisticated scientific knowledge that exceeded anything attributed to ancient Egyptian civilization. Between 1935 and 1942, French archaeologist Émile Barrès discovered functioning mechanical devices made from metals that shouldn't have been available to pyramid builders. The underground complex contained precision machine components, showing no signs of wear despite being thousands of years old. The machinery incorporated hydraulic engineering principles, electromagnetic manipulation, and precision mechanics that weren't developed by recognized civilizations until the Industrial Age. Barai's documented hieroglyphic texts describing advanced mathematical concepts, astronomical calculations, and scientific principles demonstrating sophisticated understanding of physics and engineering. Most extraordinary was a chamber containing what appeared to be a functioning power generation system, continuing to produce electrical energy after millennia. The system incorporated electromagnetic induction and energy conversion principles that wouldn't be discovered by modern science until centuries later, suggesting ancient engineers had solved technical problems that contemporary electrical engineering still struggles to overcome. Independent verification came from British engineer Robert Bauval, who examined Barai's documentation and confirmed the underground machinery incorporated engineering principles, exceeding contemporary technological capabilities. The systems were designed with redundant safety mechanisms and automated controls, demonstrating sophisticated industrial engineering understanding. When Barai's attempted to transport machinery samples to European laboratories for analysis, Egyptian authorities confiscated his materials and revoked excavation permits. His research documentation was seized, and he was prohibited from discussing discoveries with other archaeologists or scientific institutions. The suppression intensified when officials realized the complex could revolutionize understanding of ancient technological capabilities. The site was sealed with concrete barriers and access restricted to authorized personnel required to sign extensive confidentiality agreements. International pressure to examine the complex was consistently blocked by authorities claiming further excavation could damage the pyramid's structural integrity, though leaked documents revealed concerns about public awareness of advanced ancient technology, undermining cultural narratives about technological progress. Recent ground-penetrating radar surveys conducted by independent researchers have confirmed the underground complex remains intact, with electromagnetic readings suggesting some ancient machinery continues operating. However, Egyptian officials refused to authorize scientific investigation, maintaining systematic suppression of evidence that challenges established historical narratives. Our final suppressed discovery involves multiple advanced civilizations in the Amazon rainforest that possessed metallurgy, mathematics, and engineering capabilities exceeding those of contemporary European societies. In 1967, American archaeologist Dr. Richard Thompson discovered evidence of sustainable technologies, advanced medical knowledge, and social systems demonstrating sophisticated understanding of ecology and human psychology. The Amazon civilizations had developed rubber production, advanced agriculture, and medical techniques centuries before these technologies appeared in European society. Archaeological evidence showed they created sustainable urban systems supporting large populations without environmental degradation, demonstrating ecological knowledge exceeding modern environmental management understanding. Thompson documented mathematical systems incorporating concepts of zero, infinity, and complex geometric principles not developed by European mathematics until much later periods. The civilizations had created calendars, astronomical calculations, and engineering principles, demonstrating sophisticated scientific knowledge and educational institutions that rivaled or surpassed contemporary European achievements. Most remarkable was evidence that Amazon civilizations had developed democratic political systems, advanced legal frameworks, and social structures providing equality and opportunity, far exceeding contemporary European societies. Their governmental systems incorporated representation principles, individual rights, and social justice concepts not adopted by Western civilization until the modern era. Independent linguistic analysis showed Amazon languages incorporated concepts and vocabulary, demonstrating advanced understanding of philosophy, science, and social organization. The grammatical complexity and conceptual sophistication exceeded many contemporary European languages, challenging assumptions about indigenous intellectual capabilities. When Thompson attempted to publish his findings, he encountered systematic resistance from academic institutions refusing to accept evidence of advanced indigenous civilizations. Publishers rejected manuscripts, universities declined research funding, and colleagues distanced themselves after receiving institutional pressure. The suppression intensified when government agencies realized evidence of advanced indigenous societies could challenge legal frameworks supporting land acquisition and resource extraction. Thompson's research was classified under national security provisions, and he was prohibited from discussing discoveries. International human rights organizations attempting to obtain access to documentation were blocked by claims the research contained sensitive information affecting indigenous communities, though leaked documents revealed concerns that evidence of advanced civilizations could complicate territorial and resource management policies. Recent satellite imagery shows many archaeological sites Thompson documented have been destroyed by deforestation and industrial development, eliminating physical evidence of advanced civilizations. The destruction appears systematic and coordinated rather than random environmental degradation, suggesting deliberate elimination of inconvenient archaeological evidence. These 10 archaeological discoveries represent systematic suppression of evidence that human history has been deliberately rewritten to hide uncomfortable truths about our past capabilities and achievements. From advanced machinery beneath ancient monuments to sophisticated civilizations in remote regions, each discovery challenged established narratives about technological progress and human development. The coordinated pattern of classification, confiscation, and career destruction reveals institutional awareness that certain truths about our past are considered too dangerous for public knowledge. Government agencies, academic institutions, and powerful organizations have worked together to maintain specific narratives about human civilization while systematically eliminating evidence that contradicts official timelines. The evidence suggests our ancestors possessed knowledge, technology, and social systems that exceeded capabilities attributed to their supposed conquerors and successors. Advanced electrical systems in ancient Baghdad, precision crystal artifacts containing encrypted knowledge, democratic societies predating European political development, and mechanical computers calculating astronomical positions with impossible accuracy. What emerges from these suppressed discoveries is a picture of human history far more complex and sophisticated than we've been taught. Knowledge and technology appear to follow cyclical patterns of advancement and loss, with indigenous and ancient peoples possessing scientific understanding that challenge the technological superiority claims of later civilizations. The systematic nature of this suppression indicates that powerful forces have vested interests in maintaining specific narratives about human development and cultural evolution. Evidence challenging these narratives, whether ancient electricity, mathematical formulas in desert stones, or egalitarian societies in rainforests, must be hidden to preserve institutional authority and establish power structures. The implications of these coordinated cover-ups extend far beyond individual archaeological sites or isolated discoveries. When we examine the pattern of suppression across different continents, time periods, and research institutions, a disturbing picture emerges. This isn't random academic disagreement or bureaucratic incompetence. This is systematic elimination of evidence that threatens the fundamental story we've been told about human civilization. Consider the consistency of the methods used. In every case, the same sequence of events unfolds with mechanical precision. Credible researchers make extraordinary discoveries, backed by physical evidence. Initial excitement gives way to immediate intervention by authorities. Research permits get revoked, equipment gets confiscated, and documentation vanishes. Scientists face career destruction, funding elimination, and legal threats. The sites get sealed, the evidence disappears, and official records claim the discoveries never happened. This pattern repeats across decades and continents with such consistency that it suggests centralized coordination. The same institutional players appear repeatedly. The Smithsonian Institution confiscating giant skeletons, government intelligence agencies classifying archaeological findings, academic journals refusing to publish papers that challenge established timelines, museums removing artifacts from public display and transferring them to classified storage facilities. The speed of intervention is particularly revealing. Within hours or days of making groundbreaking discoveries, researchers find themselves cut off from their work, their materials seized, and their careers threatened. This rapid response indicates sophisticated monitoring systems and pre-established protocols for dealing with inconvenient archaeological evidence. What makes this suppression even more troubling is the quality of the evidence being hidden. These aren't fringe claims or dubious artifacts. These are discoveries made by respected archaeologists using standard scientific methodology. The physical evidence includes precision-manufactured objects, advanced metallurgy, complex mathematical formulas, and sophisticated engineering that exceed the capabilities attributed to ancient civilizations. The researchers themselves represent the cream of the archaeological community. Dr. Yoshimura was an established expert in Egyptian archaeology with decades of fieldwork experience. Dr. Imagino was a respected geologist whose dating methods were scientifically sound. Frederick Mitchell Hedges was a credible explorer whose documentation was thorough and detailed. These weren't amateur treasure hunters or sensationalist media figures looking for attention. The institutional response reveals something even more significant. The very speed and thoroughness of the suppression indicates that powerful organizations were already aware these discoveries were possible. The classification protocols, the confiscation procedures, and the career destruction mechanisms were already in place, suggesting institutional knowledge that contradictory evidence would eventually surface. This raises profound questions about what other discoveries remain hidden in classified vaults, sealed archaeological sites, and restricted storage facilities. If 10 major discoveries have been documented despite systematic suppression efforts, how many others never reached public awareness at all? How many researchers were silenced before they could transmit their findings to colleagues or document their discoveries? The technological implications are staggering. Ancient electrical systems that exceed modern efficiency, mechanical computers calculating astronomical positions with impossible precision, crystal artifacts containing encrypted knowledge systems, metallurgy using techniques we cannot replicate, power generation systems operating continuously for millennia. These discoveries suggest that human technological development has been far more advanced and cyclical than official history acknowledges. The social implications are equally profound. Democratic political systems predating European democracy by centuries. Sustainable urban planning supporting large populations without environmental degradation. Advanced medical knowledge and educational institutions rivaling modern capabilities. Mathematical systems incorporating concepts not developed by recognized civilizations until much later periods. These discoveries challenge fundamental assumptions about social and intellectual progress. These 10 suppressed discoveries prove that human history has been systematically rewritten to hide revolutionary truths about our ancestors' capabilities. The evidence is undeniable. Advanced technologies, sophisticated civilizations, and knowledge systems that challenge everything we've been taught about human development have been deliberately erased from our collective memory. The coordinated pattern of suppression reveals that powerful institutions will go to extraordinary lengths to maintain control over historical narratives, even if it means denying humanity access to its own extraordinary past. What other discoveries remain locked away in classified vaults, waiting to transform our understanding of who we really are?